Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be discussing the basics of HTML, and I believe that by the end of this video you'll be able to build out your first HTML web page, and also you'll be able to identify different elements whenever you come across any website. So let me quickly open up my slides. Yeah. All right. So these are the things we'll be running through in this video. We'll just be touching on some of these very important subtopics. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it is regarded as the language of the web. Basically, it's used to describe the structure of a web page, like how a web page should show up. When you take a look at a web page, you get to see the header, you get to see some nav links, you see the logo, you see the footer, you see some headings, you see some pictures, buttons. All of that is what gives the structure of a web page, and HTML is what is used to to build that structure. So it serves as the foundation for web development, basically. So where to write HTML code? HTML code can be written in a text editor or a code editor or an IDE. So a text editor is different from word processors, right? Text editors they're just applications that are designed to create and edit plain text without any kind of formatting. Unlike Microsoft Word, you can write text there, but you are able to format it. So, but with text editors, you cannot. There are no additional formatting. You know, when you're using a text editor. So examples of text editors can be your Notepad on Windows or your text editor on a Mac. So and then you have a code editor. A code editor is a special kind of text editor that has additional features that facilitate software development. Examples are your Visual Studio Code. You have Sublime Text, and then you have Atom. So as a personal choice, I like to use Visual Studio Code because I find it more easy for me to navigate the interface and yeah. So this is my application Visual Studio Code right here. I'll just open it up. I think it's beginner friendly, so you may want to download this software and this application and then just use it to code. Although if you prefer to use any other one, that's fine. It still does the same the same job. All right, so HTML document structure is just basically how an HTML file is structured. So for every HTML file, every HTML document, you must have the doc type declaration first. Nothing too interesting about the doc type declaration. It's just it just tells the browser how to display your web pages correctly. And it just ensures that yeah your browser displays all of the web pages correctly. Then you also have the HTML tag itself, which is the root element, and it defines the whole HTML document. So I know that might be sounding kind of abstract, but don't worry. By the time we get into our Visual Studio Code, start doing some practicals, you get to see these tags I'm talking about. We also have the head tag, and the head tag it holds information about metadata, information about the title of the web page, and also links to style sheets or external resources. Then you have what they call the title tag, and the title tag is usually shown on the browser's title bar. For instance, look at this tab here called projects Canva. This particular thing is showing because of a title tag. Title tag is what makes it possible for this to show up here. So whatever name you give you put in your title tag is what's going to show here, right? Also, if you look at let me say Google, let me say Google.com. Yeah, so you can see right here this tab saying Google. It is possible because of the title tag, right? So yeah. Okay, so you also have the body tag, and the body tag is what holds all of the visible part of the document. Visible part, everything you can see on a web page, the images, the links, the buttons, the texts, all of those things, all of those parts that you can see is contained inside of the body tag. So yeah, this is what a simple HTML document structure looks like. Yeah, you have the document type declaration, you have the HTML tag, you have the head, and see that inside the head tag you have this meta tag, you have the title tag, then you have the body tag right here. So let's just quickly open up, create a new file here in VS Code so that you can actually see what these tags look like. So I'm going to open a new folder. Okay, desktop. I'm just going to create a new folder and call it basics of HTML. Create, and then I'll open it up. Yeah, so this folder is now opened in my VS Code. So this is one way to open up a file in your VS Code. Another way would be to, let me just show you that. I'll close it here. in your file manager or your finder. Yes, you just go ahead and locate the folder that you want to open, right? So this is the folder I want to open here, basics of HTML. I can just drag it from here and put it right here in Visual Studio Code, and yes, it opens up. So that's another way to open up um, a folder in VS Code. All right, so let me just quickly create an HTML file, and I'll call it index.html. So by giving it this extension .html, it tells Visual Studio Code, this is an HTML file, so it should be treated as such. So depending on the extension you give it, when you're creating your files, that is going to let the browser know how to show up these pages, and it's also going to let the code editor know what exactly you are trying to do, right? So yeah. So you may not remember, all of this. You may not be able to remember this structure, right? There's an easy way for you to quickly get this particular structure here in VS Code. So once you just type in your exclamation mark and you just hit the tab key, yeah, immediately to give you a structure, an HTML structure, and then you can start from here. Rather than you trying to remember how to write all of these doc type, HTML, and all that. This is like a very handy way to quickly get an HTML structure. All right, so yeah, you can see this here. You have your doc type, you have the HTML tag, you have the head tag, and inside here you have this meta tag, title tag. So you can see that this title tag, what you have here is document. If you open up this file now on your browser, you'll see I'm going to be using my live server. Is an extension available here in VS Code. To get the extension, you just quickly go to this extensions tab, you search for it here, live server, and then you can just install it because it's already installed on my system. So yeah, that's it. If I just click, so once you've installed the live server, you can see this. You'll be able to see this icon right here where it says go live. So I'll just click on go live, and now it's going to open up this my page in the web browser. All right, so this is it. It's an empty HTML file, so that's why you can't see anything here. But I want you to pay attention to the title of this tab. It is saying document, and then when you look at your HTML file, you see that the title here is document. So if I change this right here to fundamentals, for instance, fundamentals of HTML, now you can see that the name here has changed. So that is the usefulness of this title tag, right? And that is it's because of title tag. It's because of the title tag that this is actually possible, right? Right here. All right. So yeah. So there are some common elements in there are some common HTML elements that when I say common, I mean let me say not every, majority of the website that you take a look at, you get to find these elements on those websites, on those web pages, right? So that is why I put the word common. It's not like these are not the only elements that we have in HTML. There are several others, right? But for you to get started with HTML, and these are the common ones, the popular ones that you get to see almost all the time, right? So the first one is your heading tags, which is which starts from H1 up until H6. So it just basically defines different levels of headings, right? So let's quickly write something here. So in the body tag right here, you can see I've already split my screen. Yeah. So in the body tag, I'm just going to have H1. So once you start typing H1, you can see it has suggested it for you. Then if you just hit the tab key, then it gives you the opening tag. This is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. Let me just put space here so you can see. So this is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. You can see they're very, very similar, but the only thing you need to know that the difference is basically on the closing tag, which is this one, you have this backward slash, right? This tells it that, oh, this is the closing tag, right? You can see it also here, right? This is the closing tag, this is the opening tag of this HTML tag, right? Same here with the heading, with the head tag, opening head tag, and this is the closing head tag. So that's how you write opening tags and closing tags, right? So I'm just going to write here, this is the heading 1 tag. I'll say this is heading 1. So one other interesting thing about live server is that as you make changes to your file, it automatically updates on your browser. Can you see that? I didn't need to click or press Ctrl C and reload my page for it to show up. So that is another interesting thing about live server extension. So let's also look at heading 2 tag. This is heading 2. All right, so you can see that this is the heading 1 tag is larger than the heading 2 tag, and that is how it is up until heading 6. You're going to see that. Okay, you can see that heading 3 is smaller than heading 2, and heading 2 is smaller than heading 3. It's just, that's just the hierarchy, right? So I'll just copy this more times, and I'll just change it from here. Heading 4, and here I'll put heading 4. Same here, heading 5. So there is nothing like heading 7, right? It stops at heading 6. So yeah, this is it. So you can see that it's very, very obvious that there's a hierarchy. This is obviously larger and shows like more emphasis than this heading 6, right? So that's about heading tags. When you look at some let me say journals, you get to see the headings of say a particular section, right? So is this these are the tags that are used to write things like that, right? So another common tag is the paragraph tag, or called a p tag. It is used to create paragraphs basically, right? So let me just create one here. Once you type in p, you see that VS Code has suggested list of HTML tags that start with P, but we're only looking for the P tag. This is it here. So once I just hit on the tab key, it gives me the opening and the closing P tag. So I'll just write here, this is a paragraph of text. Okay, so this is the paragraph of text, and this is what is showing up here, right? So this is not really, it doesn't really look like a paragraph, right? Let me just quickly search for something online, paragraph, just so it looks more like a paragraph of text. Okay, so I'll just copy all of this here, and I'll paste it. Let me just put another, create another P tag, and paste it here. So now this looks more like a paragraph. Okay, not really, it's not a lot. Let me paste it again and again and again. Okay, so now this looks like a paragraph, right? Ignore what is really in it. It's just, you can see that this is a paragraph. So when you see paragraphs like that in a web page, it is the p tag that has been used to achieve that. Also, you have link tag, denoted by the a anchor tag, right? It is used to create hyperlinks to other pages or to other resources using the href attribute. So for instance, if I want to make let me create another paragraph right here. No, I'll say there is a link. There is a link in this paragraph. So there's a link in this paragraph. I want to make this word link a link. I don't know if you get it. I want to search that when you click on this link, on this word link right here, it takes you to another page, right? For instance, Google's homepage. So to make a word or group of words a link, you simply wrap them inside of an a tag. Okay, I'll say it leads to Google's page. So I want to make this word here, Google's, a link and link it directly to Google's page. So to do that, I'm just going to wrap this word Google's inside of an a tag. So when you start typing a, you can see that VS Code has suggested several elements, attributes that start with the letter a, but I'm looking for this a tag. So this href is okay. Yeah, this href is just asking you for the URL, like that is the web page where you want this particular link to take you to. That is what that href is there for. So let me just quickly copy Google's web page. Google's, yeah. So see, I've copied it, and I'll put what I've copied as the URL inside of this href where we have these double quotes. So yeah. So now when you look at our web page, now you can see that the word Google's is now a link, right? You can see that when you hover on it, you can see below here, https :// yeah, that is a link. So when I click on this, it takes me to Google's homepage. All right, can you see it now? So that is how that is being done. If you want to create a link to anywhere, you just simply get the URL of that web page, and then you put it inside of this href, right? So yeah, that is it for the a tag. And the next, you have the image tag. So the image tag you create an image tag using the img tag, right? Img. So start typing img inside of VS Code. You can see it right here. I'll just hit the tab key, and then this is it. So this source is asking you for the path to the image you're looking for, like where is the image located, like what is the name of the image, something like that. So I have a picture here, picture of a car here. So I'll just simply drag this car into this my folder so that I can easily point to it. Yeah. All right. So in this source, in this place here where they say src, that's the source, I'm simply going to copy the name of this image file and put it inside that source, inside this place here, the source, right? Yeah. So that's just telling the browser, you know what, the image I'm trying to load up is residing inside of the folder where my HTML file is, right? And the name is car.jpg. So that is basically what it is doing. So I'll just type in here car, yeah, that's what I said, car.jpg. So I'll hit the tab key and that's it. So and then this alt attribute here is just saying, you know what, if the, just saying, you know, the browser just like, if I cannot load this image, what exactly is this image, right? So I want you want to make it very descriptive so that in situations where the image unable to load, you know, the user can still see, oh, the person, the image that's supposed to be there is, say, a dog or a car or a house. So for this one, I'll just say the picture of a red car because that is the image I'm trying to load. All right, so let's open it here. Okay, so now you can see this is the image right here. And so let me just show you. Let's say I delete this letter A. Now you can see the alternative text is what is showing here, the picture of a red car. So here, the browser cannot find any file that's called cr.jpg. So it's telling you, oh, I can't load this image, right? But here is an alternative text. This is what the image should have been, right? The picture of a red car. So that's why it's showing up here. So that is, this alt attribute is another important one, you know, just to help the browser and also help the user of your website. Okay, so that is for image tag. Then you also have lists. So, you know, sometimes when you want to list, say, items on your web page, we make use of the list tag to do that. Or, you know, when you look at a website, you can see some navigation bars. So let's say you see something like home, about us, so on and so forth. They made use of list to actually do that. So let me quickly open up Amazon's website. Yeah, so these things, they are lists, right? It was done using the list tag. So the list tag, there are basically two types. You have the ordered list and the unordered list. So for the ordered list, when you want to display items that have a numbered sequence, it is it recommended that you use the ordered list tag, that's the OL tag. But if you want to just list things on your website, that things that items that, you know, the order in which they appear don't actually matter, then you can use the unordered list, right? The unordered list. And then you have the list item, that's the LI tag. It just represents individual items within the OL tag or and the UL tag. So let's just see what it looks like here. I'll do a heading H3 just to show. I'll say list types. I'll start with the order list. Okay, let's open it up here. Yeah, so list type, ordered list. So to create an order list, just type in the OL, that's OL tag, and hit the tab key. So this is it. Then your list item, that's LI. I'll say this is number 1. I'll say this is the first item. Okay, so this is the first item. You can see that it's showing here, and it has given me. It's obvious that this is in an ordered format, right? Look at number 1. This is the first item. So I'll create up to 2. This is the second item. This is the third item. So now you can see it starts from number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. So in this kind of format, you're saying there's an order sequence, right? The first item should be before the second, and the second should be before the third, something like that. But for the UL, that is the unordered list, there is really no there. You mean you're trying to say, okay, order does not really matter here. Just list these items for me, right? And it will give you your list in a bullet point format. So this is the UL. Item 1. So I have item 2 and I have item 3. So you can see the difference here. With the unordered list, it's just listing it out in the bullet point. So here, really, the order does not matter. If I can put item 5 before item 3, really doesn't matter. So for that, let's just say I'm listing out colors. I'll say this one is red, blue, yellow. Because I mean, the order doesn't matter right here. So it's just going to be helping me to list out this item. So for this navigation links right here, it was done using the unordered list type, right? So this is a list item, list item, list item, list item. So that is one use case of that Okay, so oh yeah, we already discussed some attributes in HTML already. So like I said, it does give additional information about the HTML elements. So for instance, you have the we talked about it already, the href tag that is just basically specifying the URL for the links. Here we put in the link to Google's home page. Also, you have the source attribute. Like I also said, we've used it here with the image tag. It specifies the paths to images or other media. You can use this is also used for other media types like videos, audios. It's just telling you, this is the path to this particular image or this particular audio file I'm trying to load, and that's it. You have the alt tag as well. The alt tag is like is called it just provides an alternative text for images, so in case the browser cannot load the image, oh, this is an alternative text. This is a description of the image I'm trying to load. Basically, we already saw how that works. You also have ID and class. These ones will make more sense when we're discussing CSS. Also, you have the button tags. Button. Say you want to create a button. Just yeah, button. So I'll just say in my button, click me. Exactly. So yeah, you have a button tag here. This is a button. Click me. Yeah. Okay, so what other tags do we have? What other common tags? Yeah, basically, those are like the common HTML tags that we have. In almost every website, you see one or all of these attributes we've just discussed here. You see them on those websites. So yeah, now that you now know the basics, the basics of of HTML, the fundamentals, you can already start imagine, not just imagine, I mean, you've definitely come across several websites. You can now identify, oh, okay, since they used image for this, for instance, looking at this page now, oh, they used the image tag for this. Wow, okay. So for this one, okay, I think they used it's probably H2 tag, right? For this is probably a button, yeah. This is probably a paragraph, and then it's wrapped inside of an anchor tag, which is a link. Stuff like that. Once you look at any website, you can begin to identify some of those element that they must have used to lay out the website. All right, so we will in the next video build out a very simple HTML website, right? So this looks like a website, or not really, but yeah, these are like the basics that you need to know to start building up a web page. All right, so see you in our next video. Thank you. Bye.